Good evening. My topic is over social media and how social media is changing law enforcement. The first slide is a topic index that includes all the topics that I'm going to cover, which includes an overview, what social media is, the so what, basically why the police should care about social media, the positive impacts social media has to policing, the negative impacts that social media has to policing, and then open source intelligence. After that, I'll have the closing remarks and question and answer, questioning period. So for the overview, today's public is getting more and more sophisticated and communicating at a fast pace. Law enforcement tools have evolved from using wanted posters and newspapers to convey information to using social media networks such as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube in order to convey a message to their audience. Social media can be used to expand the search radius and audience used to locate missing children, alert neighbors of suspicious activity, and even inform the public about crimes committed in their neighborhoods. Social media is useful, but can also be the downfall for police departments that refuse to see the impact that it has in the intelligence gathering capabilities. In 2018, a flash mob organized online in Philadelphia and swarmed stores to shoplift and attack pedestrians. Pedophiles use social networking platforms to share photos and videos, and terrorists often recruit members and plan attacks using these tools as well. Our judicial system has even been affected. Jurors have been caught conducting online research about the cases they are on and even posted personal opinions to Twitter and Facebook while in the middle of trials. 72 police officers and Border Patrol officers in New Mexico have discredited themselves and the units they represent because of derogatory comments made about the detainees in the South along the border. Officer-involved interactions are a premium on social media and riddled with both support and negative comments. Not understanding the power of social media or lacking the inability to exploit it can be detrimental to law and order. I will speak about how social media affects policing and the intelligence community. The next section is about what social media is. What social media is. Social media is a series of interactive platforms that allow creation and sharing and exchange of information, ideas, career interests, and other forms of expression through virtual communities and networks like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The next section is the so what and why the police should care. Lieutenant Charles L. Cohen of the Indiana State Police has been a forward thinker and educator on social media since 2002. Officer Cohen has operated on high-profile cases, including the arrest of Jared Fogle. Officer Cohen used social media to bring Fogle to justice. Fogle was the poster face for a popular sandwich chain, but the truth behind the feel-good weight loss story was much worse. Fogle treated child pornography and purchased children for sex through online websites. Using a mobile crime lab, Cohen was able to monitor the online activity in Fogle's home, which led to the building of a case that later led to his arrest. Online images and data are laden with background information that can tell you the date, time, and location that an image was taken. Additional intelligence can be gathered from looking at videos and photos that are uploaded to Facebook and YouTube. If the police are looking for a specific gang member or criminal, and the family of that criminal is telling you that they have no idea where this person is, pertinent information can be learned if the member of that criminal's organization attends a family reunion or a family event, and then that video or pictures are uploaded to YouTube. This also helps determine social relationships that the criminal has and may expose a wider network of illegal activity. Criminals have been known to brag about crime in online forums, crimes that range from anything that include illegal gun ownership to bragging about bank robbing and drunk driving. Even if you delete your internet history, that data stays logged forever. Next, we're going to talk about the positive impacts to policing that social media has had. People want transparency out of the policing agencies, whether it's been displaying deputies lining an overpass for an officer who has died in the line of duty, posting photos of a mounted patrol deputy changing the tire of a civilian. A police Twitter feed helps people relate to their deputies, humanizing them, and ultimately bringing about a level of respect that will make our community safer for everyone. Amid the current national discourse about the proper use of police force, social media has become a powerful tool for law enforcement agencies. Text, posts, and tweets offer different ways to engage with communities by sharing critical updates and receiving candid feedback from locals about local concerns. Social media can help spread information rapidly to community members, which can be useful during public safety emergencies like natural disasters. However, not all police engagement online is negative, or not all police engagement online is positive. There's many negative impacts as well. For instance, Philandro Castell died after being shot by police in his car in the Falcon Heights area of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Like the killing of George Floyd, the killing in the pictures of his lifeless body was videoed and posted online. Alton Sterling was killed by Louisiana police and the video was posted online. Years prior to this, Rodney King was beaten in Los Angeles and the beating was recorded by a handheld cam recorder and sent to the local news. People in Los Angeles rioted for days after the acquittal of the police officers who beat Rodney King. Police need to come to the realization that social media is here to stay and has turned every smartphone into an action news camera and has been to the detriment to the police. Police are no longer convicted in a courtroom or in union hall for injustices. They are convicted in the news feeds of public opinion. Now I'm going to talk about open source intelligence and how that has impacted or affected policing. OSINT, or open source intelligence, is the exploitation of any data that can be mined from the public data and can range from Open source intelligence is the exploitation of any data that can be mined from public data, and it can range from news sources to personal blogs and videos. The open web has its limitations. The open web is only like 4 to 5% of the data that is on the surface of the web. Below that is the deep web and the dark web. This area of the web is not illegal and mostly open to everyone, but there are private and encrypted areas, and this part of the web is vast. Investigators can use tools like Webint to use search queries to search for specific information, and not just the surface, but look deep into the dark web or into the dark web. SOCMINT is the exploitation of social media. SOCMINT is the intelligence gathering of data on things that can be gleaned from social media, like a person's interests, location, and political views. Social media is also a way for not only the police to gather data, but it is a way for terrorists, cult leaders, and even catfishers to look for people that are likely to be amenable to exploitation. Law enforcement should not undervalue the impact that social media has had. Recent events with QAnon and increasing violence from domestic terrorist groups like the incel movement have been coordinated using open source. QAnon and the incel movement have coordinated their efforts using open source or subgroups on social media networks like 4chan. This is the closing remarks and questions. So what I covered was the overview, what social media is, the so what, the positive impacts to policing, the negative impacts to policing, open source intelligence, closing remark, and then we are now in the closing remarks and questions. Thank you.